Don't text her. Not tonight, not tomorrow, not next week. Let her feel the weight of losing you. Let her sit with the silence she never thought you were capable of. Let her finally see what it's like to reach for someone who isn't reaching back. This isn't about pride. It's not about playing games. This is about reclaiming your soul. Because every time you chase, every time you overthink, every time you break your own silence to send that message, what you're really doing is disrespecting your own pain. You're telling your heart, what I feel doesn't matter as much as getting a reply from someone who walked away. And I'm telling you right now, that has to stop. You weren't born to beg for connection. You weren't built to prove your worth through unread messages and anxious nights staring at a screen. You are a man, and there is a different kind of strength waiting for you if you have the discipline to sit with the discomfort and not run from it. Because I know what you're feeling. I've been there. That pit in your stomach that opens every time your phone lights up. And it's not her. That voice in your head that says, maybe she didn't mean it. Maybe she's just waiting for me to reach out first. The bargaining, the what ifs, the fantasy of fixing something that deep down you know she already gave up on. You want her back. You want her to feel what you're feeling. You want her to miss you like you miss her. And the truth is, she might. But only if you do what's hardest. Walk away and stay gone. Because here's the brutal truth about female psychology. And this comes from years of heartbreak, not theory. Women don't respect words. They respect absence. They feel the loss not through your explanations, not through your emotional texts or midnight confessions. They feel it through the silence that replaces you. You want to remind her of your worth? Disengage. You want her to see what she lost? Disappear from her emotional radar. See, you don't need to teach her with words. You need to teach her with your distance. Because when a woman senses you're still emotionally available, even after she's pulled away, she doesn't panic. She doesn't reflect. She doesn't feel loss. She feels in control. You're still an option. You're still orbiting her world. But the moment she realizes your energy is no longer circling her, that's when the shift happens. And you won't see it immediately. That's the hardest part. You won't get validation right away. You won't get the apology you want on day 3. You might go weeks, even months, with no sign that she's feeling anything at all. That's when most men fail. That's when they break the silence, not because it's time, but because they can't handle not being seen. But I promise you, the silence is working, not because it's a strategy, but because it's truth. You're not playing cold. You're not pretending to be detached. You are learning to be detached. You are finally allowing reality to sink in, that this woman, this situation, this pain, it doesn't define your worth anymore, and she will feel it. Because women have a sixth sense for this. They know when you're still emotionally hooked. They know when your silence is just another form of manipulation, when it's fake, when it's forced, when it's coming from pain, not peace. But when the silence comes from real acceptance, when it comes from the core of your being saying, I deserve more than this, that's when it cuts deep. That's when she starts to question everything. She won't admit it at first. She might double down on the coldness. She might post stories to provoke you. She might flirt with others, act like she's thriving. But all of that, it's noise, it's reaction. It's her scrambling to see if you're still watching. Don't react, don't reply, don't validate her performance. Because this moment, this season, it's not about her anymore. It's about you, your growth, your rebirth, your evolution into a man who doesn't need external validation to feel alive. You have to become the kind of man who doesn't chase, but attracts, who doesn't beg, but commands presence through his stillness, who doesn't explain, but lets the weight of his absence speak volumes. Because when you keep texting her, when you keep reaching out, hoping for closure or connection, or just one more reply, what you're doing is bleeding your value all over the floor. You're proving that her attention still holds power over your peace. And until you cut that cord, she will never truly respect you. Respect doesn't come from how much you care. It comes from how well you can withhold your care when it's not returned. That's the truth no one tells you. Women don't test your affection. They test your emotional self-control. They want to know if you'll fold under pressure, if you'll break your own silence just to get a crumb of their presence back. And the moment you do, the moment you send that message that says, just checking in, or I miss you, or can we talk? You've lost. Not because it's weak to feel, but because it shows you don't value your own energy enough to protect it. And hear me clearly, this doesn't make her evil. This isn't about blaming women. This is about understanding how attraction works, how respect works, how polarity works. A woman can't be drawn to a man who's emotionally dependent on her approval. She might enjoy the attention. She might even feel guilt when you finally walk away, but she won't feel desire until she senses you no longer need her to feel whole. That's when her mind reboots. That's when the memories start to hit her at night. That's when she starts wondering, did I make a mistake? Not because you told her she lost you, but because your silence made her feel it. That's power. And that kind of power doesn't come from manipulation. It comes from healing. It comes from facing your pain without trying to numb it through a text. It comes from realizing that the version of you who kept over-explaining, over-apologizing, and over-pursuing, that version of you was never truly loved. He was tolerated. He was convenient, he was familiar, but he wasn't respected. And from this day forward, that version of you is gone. You're not him anymore. You are the man who walks away, not out of spite, but out of self-respect. You are the man who doesn't flinch when his phone stays silent. You are the man who knows that peace is more attractive than desperation. And if she's ever going to come back, it won't be because you chased her. It'll be because you finally stopped. Let her feel the weight of losing you. Let her wonder. Let her remember what it was like when your attention was a given, and realize how empty her world feels without it. Because eventually she will. It might not be today, it might not be next week, but it will happen. That's how female psychology works. They don't respond to your presence, they respond to your absence. That's when the questions start. That's when the image of you starts to haunt them. Not the desperate version, not the over-texting, anxious version, but the version who disappeared without a word, the version who chose peace, the version who didn't explain, the version who respected himself enough to walk away from what was no longer nourishing his soul. So no, don't text her, not now, not after everything. Let her feel what it's like to lose you. Let her feel the gravity of her decision. Let her sit in the silence she created. And while she's wondering where you went, you'll be healing, you'll be growing, you'll be becoming the man who never has to send a text to be remembered, because that kind of man doesn't chase, he doesn't explain, he simply moves on and lets his absence speak the truth she was too blind to see. If you felt this message in your chest, don't let it stop here. This is just the surface. I put everything I've learned into a complete guide called How to Stop Chasing Love and Make Them Chase You. It's not fluff, it's not theory, it's the real, hard-earned truth that shows you exactly how to shift the dynamic, how to stop giving your power away and finally become the one they can't ignore. If you're tired of feeling like you're always the one reaching out, always waiting, hoping, overthinking, then this is for you. You'll find the link in the description. Read it, absorb it, apply it, and watch what happens when you finally stop chasing and start becoming.